Hi, I'm Calvin Jones from Rehabilitation. In this video I want to have a quick chat to you about the rehabilitation I did for a professional cricketer. Now, he was a fast bowler and he came to me with a stress fracture. So what actually happened was he had his first full season of professional cricket, and then he had gone to England and played a full season over there. And by the time he came back to start his next season of professional cricket, he was diagnosed with a stress fracture in his lower back. So he went through all the requirements of the medical team that related to his team, and they had said to him, right, you're fine, you're fit, you're stable, the fracture's healed, and so you can start increasing your bowling load again. But what you'll see in this video is that while the bone is healed, as bones do, the movement that caused the injury hasn't been fixed. And so what will happen is he'll go and increase his bowling load to the point at which it puts enough stress on that joint to cause the fracture again.
In Kevin's assessment, we looked at his ability to backward bend. You can see that he's primarily moving from only one place in his lower back. From the posterior view, you can see the formation of dark lines across his back where he is getting all of his movement from. Again, in his arm raise test, he has to hyperextend in his lower back just to get his arms above his head. Now these are important movements for a fast bowler, as in the delivery stride, up to 14 times your body weight travels through your body to be dissipated through your musculoskeletal system. And as you can see in this bowling action, you again see the formation of the dark line on impact of that rear foot. Now this means all of that force is being focused on his lower back. This impact is what causes a stress fracture. And while Kevin's stress fracture is healed, you can see the movement that caused the injury has not been corrected. This increases the chance that he will again suffer from a stress fracture. In Kevin's gym program, again the poor movement goes unchecked and is now in fact being strengthened. The gym is a place where you condition your body to be stronger at the movements you need in your sport. With correct assessment and individualized programming, you can see from Kevin's 6-week assessment that his movements have improved significantly. You can now see his backward bend is lower with a much more functional curve, and in his arm raise test he actually lengthens through his lower back to get his arm above his head. Your body will always move towards strength, so the next goal for Kevin is to strengthen these movements and integrate them into the lunge, twist and push movements that are important for bowling. Next you can see the new improved movement already in his delivery stride, and anecdotally he feels stronger at the crease and he's bowling harder into the pitch.
Okay, so as you can see, Kevin's still got a long way to go before he doesn't run the risk of getting a stress fracture again. So I just thought I'd now just take you through my thought process on how we rehabbed Kevin. So yes, he had a stress fracture, but that doesn't really interest me. What I'm more interested about is why he has the stress fracture. Okay, so the stress fracture is caused because of his excessive movement in his lumbar spine when he extends or bends backwards. Okay, but why again? Why does he do that? He does that because of his poor mechanics of getting his arm overhead, and because his hip joints are so tight that they don't allow the movement of the hip bones, hip joints, to posteriorly rotate when he bends backwards. Okay, so what we've done then is we've gone, okay, well, those are the issues. How do we fix that? Okay, so first thing we do is we give his spine more mobility so that he can actually reverse his spine to get his arm overhead. And then we go about and we release his hip joint and the surrounding muscles. Then we work on his abdominal stabilization, how he does it. Because if the abdominal cavity is strong and tight, then you can't get excessive movement from the lower back. And more than that, it will cause you to have to find more movement in the upper back for the likes of your arm raise. Okay. We then worked on his arm raise pattern. So we had to first give him the ability to move his spine, and then we need to teach him how to use that ability properly. Okay. And then finally, we worked on how he backward bend, and again just practiced him backward bending properly with the correct mechanics, so that when he went to bowl, his body would choose to move like how we wanted it to. Okay, and then the final part of it was go, okay, well, what are his primal pattern requirements? So obviously the lunge, the twist, and the push are pretty important for cricketers, and so that's what we went and made them more stable at, and then made them stronger at. We also had a secondary focus at his strength and extension and flexion, because that's where it was causing this issue. So that was woe to go of Kevin, and how we improved his movement to stop him getting injured again. Hope you enjoyed it.